Good morning, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Welcome to my channel. In a day and age when YouTube is pretty much, defending China and defending the World Health Organization and anybody at all that says anything against the World Health Organization, even if they're a world-renowned doctor and they say, well, I think the World Health Organization was wrong on something, they get hit, they get banned, their video gets removed. And this video is going to get hit and banned and removed because, well, I just don't really care about YouTube and their censorship. I care about you guys and bringing you guys the news in an unbiased manner and hopefully bringing you a side of the news that maybe you haven't heard. Every story has multiple sides and versions. Well, China is now facing hundreds of countries, and the World Health Organization is now facing hundreds of countries that are looking into the response that they made. Hundreds of countries, hundreds. So what now, YouTube? The entire world is starting to look at the World Health Organization, and what side of history do you want to be on, YouTube? Would you like to be on the right side of history or the wrong side of history? Because banning any video that is even slightly critical of the World Health Organization is a bad road to go down because you're propagating only one side of the story. And you're saying that every other side of the story is a line that we must absolutely believe the World Health Organization without any question, without any thought, mindless little drones doing as we're told. I don't like that idea. And fighting YouTube is like this unending battle, so give me a like, a share, a thumbs up, something. Let's read this. NBC News. China's Xi announces $2 billion for coronavirus response as WHO faces calls for investigation. Ooh, $2 billion. Wow. We just spent $2 trillion and now another $3 trillion, so $2 billion. Ooh, I'm sorry, Xi Jinping. I am not impressed in the least. It's all your fault. You should be putting the most money in, you idiot. Amid an intensifying blame game over the World Health Organization's handling of the coronavirus, China's leader Xi Jinping announced a $2 billion package to help tackle the pandemic at the organization's General Assembly Monday. Yeah, okay. The United States has donated more than $2 billion just on a normal day. Not a normal day, but a normal period. Not impressed. Xi also called for a global review of the international response, but said it should be led by the World Health Organization itself and launched only after the virus is brought under control. So you want the World Health Organization to investigate the global response, the international response, when it was the World Health Organization that was saying that, you remember, the likelihood of human-to-human transmission is highly unlikely, is what the World Health Organization was saying. Bans are not effective. Bans will not do it. Bans are not needed. Travel bans. That's what the World Health Organization said. They waited forever to declare this a pandemic, and now you want the World Health Organization to do and lead the investigation. If China and the World Health Organization aren't in bed together, and if this isn't eloquent proof that the World Health Organization and China are in bed together, then I don't know what is. Xi's statement via video link came as more than 100 health ministers from around the world prepared to call for an independent evaluation of the World Health Organization's handling of the outbreak. So YouTube, what are you going to do when it comes out that the World Health Organization dropped the ball, and those of us that are saying the World Health Organization dropped the ball are correct, and you're out there banning the right videos and propping up the wrong ones? The draft of the resolution, which has the support of 116 countries so far, is calling for an impartial, independent, and comprehensive evaluation. And I like that. Impartial, yes. Independent, yes. Comprehensive, yes. I don't believe it should be a country. I believe it should be some sort of a private business that doesn't have any leanings anyway from, a country and several countries joined together. There should definitely be oversight. We want this all to be truthful. We want this to be up and up. We want this to be above the board. We don't want there to be any signs of, or even hints of impropriety. But I guarantee you that people are going to find, whoever investigates the WHO, that the WHO What's wrong? Horton doesn't hear a who here, man. Horton doesn't hear a who. Evaluation of the actions of the World Health Organization and their timelines pertaining to the COVID-19 pandemic. It also seeks to identify the origin of the virus. And that's something that China is very scared of, and I would almost guarantee that the World Health Organization would say right off the bat, that it wasn't, in the Virology Institute or something like that. But yet we're going to have hundreds of other countries saying, things kind of point that way. I have paperwork. I mean, it's not that fucking hard to get the information. I have paperwork about a doctor going to a hospital twice and a nurse 3 times from the Virology Institute. Amazingly, right before the outbreak came out, and amazingly, right around the same time that the Dr. Lee was trying to say, hey, things are not good. Just before, about 3 weeks. Last month, President Donald Trump moved to withdraw U.S. funding from the organization, accusing it of being too close to Beijing and not sharing information on a timely manner and covering up for China's mistakes. And, I mean, look, from the outside looking in, it looks like that, because whatever China was saying, that's exactly what the World Health Organization was saying, almost pretty much verbatim. The World Health Organization did definitely drag its heels. They were touting China's response as, like the perfect response. Look at China. Look how perfect China is. Look how perfect China is. We should all want to be Chinese. We should all want to copy China. That's pretty much what they were saying. And it's just crazy. The move has been met with severe criticism at home and abroad as WHO officials denied the claims. But, I mean, look, on the outside looking in, World Health Organization, wasn't it you who said, and I quote, the likelihood of human-to-human transmission is very low, is what you were saying in the beginning. The same thing China was saying. So, what do you mean? It looks bad. Therefore, we should investigate. If you got nothing to hide, you should welcome the investigation. It was not initially clear if the U.S. would take part in the 2-day assembly, but the U.S. permanent mission to the United Nations told NBC News Monday Health Secretary Alex Azar will lead the American delegation and take part in the afternoon session. In his statement, Xi reiterated Beijing's official line that China acted with transparency and shared information about the outbreak. Then how come we didn't know about the human-human transmission? How come Dr. Lee disappeared and then changed his tune when he reappeared? How come a journalist disappeared and then reappeared all happy, talking about how great China was and how China could handle this response when before he disappeared he was saying it was an outbreak? Explain that one, China. Explain that one. Those should be the first 2 questions you explain. The third one should be why were you and then the World Health Organization saying there was no human-to-human transmission when at the same time you'd already had doctors being put on ventilators? Answer that one. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. The outbreak is believed to have originated in the country's Hubei province. Trump has been Beijing's chief accuser, but he's not the only one to have alleged that Chinese officials covered up the virus during its early stages and exacerbated its spread into a pandemic. They did! It sure appears that way. The World Health Organization's Director General Tedros Adhanom, not even going to try it, has been under scrutiny after he heaped praise on Beijing's coronavirus response. Yeah, he did. He said, we should all be like China. Yes, let's all be like China. Why not? We're using Chinese drones to track people on lockdown on a thing that on a virus that came from China, relying on ventilators that come from China, and relying on face masks that come from China, and relying on computers that come from China. I mean, see anything wrong with all that? In his address on Monday, he said he would welcome the proposed resolution to review World Health Organization's handling of the pandemic and will initiate an independent evaluation at the earliest appropriate moment. When is the earliest appropriate moment? We don't want to wait too long. The longer you wait, the harder it is to find evidence. We welcome the proposed resolution before the Assembly, which calls for a stepwise process of impartial, independent, and comprehensive evaluation, Taylor said. To be truly comprehensive, such an evaluation must encompass the entire of the response by all actors in good faith. And yeah, it must be, and it must be done by someone who is at least somewhat impartial. How you find someone somewhat impartial, I don't know. But he said the independent evaluation will review experience gained and lessons learned, and as well make recommendations to improve national and global pandemic preparedness and response. And I guarantee in there, and I sure hope in there is also a bit of a finger pointing, because someone needs to take responsibility. Someone needs to take responsibility. The World Health Organization Assembly, being held virtually for the first time, is officially focused on international cooperation on vaccines, treatments, and testing to fight the virus. Yeah, I know it. General Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, called for unity among all the nations fighting this, and he said that this has to be a wake-up call. Yes, this is a wake-up call to stop China from being our supplier-in-chief of everything. We should stop giving our business to China. Either we stand together or we fall apart. Yeah, but standing together means China's got to be able to pick up its part too. But it doesn't. It looks like China caused everything to fall apart. Just before the meeting, WHO's COVID special envoy, David Nabarro, said he hoped world leaders will delay criticism of one another's handling of the crisis until after the pandemic is under control. Yeah, fat chance of that. Human beings. Human beings. That's not how human beings operate. He also warned that without a unified global plan, the outbreak will only get worse. This virus will just come back. It's going to come back. It's going to be like the flu. It's here. That's why our response is nuts. Our response is nuts because this thing is here. It's going to be like the flu. We can't keep locking down. We can't keep doing this. My God, I couldn't even get gas after 11 p.m. yesterday. All gas stations and everything were closed. No gas. Even the pumps were off. It's absurd. It's absurd. So here I am after 11 p.m. If you need gas, you're coming through town, you've got a ways to go still, and you need gas to get home, you're done. You can't get gas. But we can't do that. We can't do that. And I know it's a scary thing, but so's starvation. So's turning the country into a poverty-stricken third world country. It can happen. I'm not saying it will, but look, $2 trillion. Now another $3 trillion. And in that $3 trillion bill, there's a lot of fucked up shit, man. And I'm hoping to do a video on it whenever I have the time to do it. But I encourage you to look into it and educate yourselves. I love you guys. I'll keep you informed. And I'll see you on the next one.